My question is number 10, which says, consider the following equation where m and n are real numbers. And suppose the four roots of the equation form an arithmetic sequence with the first and smallest term being 1/2. What is the absolute value of n minus n? So if the four roots form an arithmetic sequence and the first one is 1/2, then that means x minus 1/2 times x minus 1/2 plus k times x minus 1/2 plus 2k times x minus 1/2 plus 3k equals that equation, x squared minus 10x plus m times x squared minus 10x plus m. So that means that two of these terms multiply to get the first term here, and then the other two multiply to get the second term. And so first I multiplied these two terms out, so then I got, x minus 1/2 times x minus 1/2 plus k. That's going to be x squared. Here, I'll do it over here. X 1/2. So it's going to be x squared minus 1/2 x minus 1/2 x 1/4. This is minus kx, and this is k over 2. So you have x squared minus x minus kx plus 1/4 plus k over 2. So I set that equal to the first term here, x squared minus 10x plus m. So then that means that the coefficient on the x term, so this is really minus 1 minus k times x. So that means that -1 minus k equals -10. So -1 minus k equals -10. So then k equals -9. So k equals 9. So if k equals 9, then you know 1 over 4 plus k over 2 equals m. So you can solve for m. 1 over 4 plus 9 over 2 equals m. So 1 over 4 plus 18 over 4 equals m. So 19 over 4 equals m. So now if k equals 9, then that means you can plug in k for these values, so you get, so you get x minus 1/2 times x minus, it would be 1/2 plus 18/2, which is 19/2. And then x minus, you're adding another 18/2, which is 37/2, times x minus plus another 18/2 is 55/2. So that means that these two multiply together to get this one, and these two multiply together to get this one. But as you can see, when you multiply these together, you're going to get 37/2 x minus 55/2 x, and that does not equal 10x, -10x. So that means that these two do not multiply together to get this one. So instead of multiplying these two together to get the first term, I'm going to I multiplied the first and the third term and set it equal to that, and that still didn't work. So then you're left with one more option. That means this first term and the fourth term multiply to get this term, and then the two middle terms multiply to get this term. So let's do that. X minus 1/2 times x minus 1/2 plus 3k. So that's going to be x squared. So change this to minus 3k. And this is minus 3kx. And this is 3k over 2. So x squared minus x minus 3kx plus 1/4 plus 3k over 2. So I set that equal to this middle term, or this term, x squared minus 10x plus m. So this is really x squared minus 1 plus 3k times x plus 1/4 plus 3k over 2 . So you know that 1 plus 3k equals 10. So 3k equals 9 and k equals 3. So now you plug this k into here to solve for m, because you know 1/4 plus 3k over 2 equals m. So 1/4 plus 9 over 2 equals m. So that's 19/4 equals m, just like we got before. So now, now k is 3. So when you plug k into here, you get x minus 1/2 times x minus 1/2 plus 6/2 is 7/2 times x minus plus another 6/2 is 13/2 plus another 6/2 is 19/2. So we said that the first and the fourth term multiplies to get this term. So these two middle terms, if you multiply x minus 7 over 2 times x minus 13 over 2, that's going to be equal x squared minus 10x plus n. So x squared minus 7/2 x minus 13/2 x plus 7 times 3 is 91. That equals x squared minus 10x plus n. So as you can see, you are getting negative 10x, because negative 7/2 plus negative 13/2 equals negative 10. So that means that 91 over 2 equals n. So now you're just looking for absolute value of n minus n. So the absolute value of m minus n equals 19 over 4 minus 91 over 2. So that's 19 over 4 minus 182 over 4, which is 182 minus 19. That's 3, 6, 1. 163 over 4. And that is your answer.